Alrighty, hey there guys, Adrian DeCosta here, aka Jetterbro95, coming at you guys with another video. So, in this video, guys, let's talk about some AP changes. Now, I know EA did a small AP update as Season 2 dropped, but quite honestly, I don't think it was really a good enough update. I personally think they should be doing some more changes. Let's just zoom out on this a small amount, because this is a very small screen. Why is this like not? There we go. Oh, it's a very small screen. So there we go. We'll zoom in a little bit. So, but I want to talk about some AP changes that I would like to see. Like, I know they did change up abilities. Like, you know, they did get like +1 inside shade, down -1 on like things like gunslinger. But I don't think they did enough AP changes. Now, I'm not going to go through every single ability and say this needs to go up or down or stay the same, because quite frankly that would take way too long. But what I'm gonna do is talk about the main abilities. So like maybe like gold and like the gold tier and like the elite tier abilities, and then maybe a couple of other ones, and say like the bronze and the silver tier out of mutt.gg, and say should they go up or down, yada yada yada. So if you guys do agree or disagree with anything I say in this video, do not be afraid to let me know in the comments, guys. Once again, if you guys do hear creaking and crackling with a chair in the background, I do apologize. It is nothing I can control. I am just very fidgety, and you know, the microphone does happen to pick it up, so I do apologize for that. So let's touch on some abilities, like say for example these hot route abilities. I personally do believe, you know, for these specific individual one spot ones, like say for example slot, outside, running back, and tight end, I firmly believe these should be 1 AP on every single archetype. And if you want to put it to 0, I think that would be a bit too insane. But I would personally believe that this should be 1 AP on all archetypes, just because of the fact that it is only in one specific spot on the field. You cannot get it for like it's not multiple spots, it's just one specific area of the field. And so therefore I would personally think that it should be 1 AP on those. Hot Route Master, I think, you know, it's 6, 7 AP. I think this is fine where it is, but I would say, like, with these discounted for 3 or 4 AP, I would argue that this should be like maybe 2 AP on Jalen Elway, especially since he is like 5 million coins. And then Josh Allen's probably fine. I think, you know, in field general quarterbacks, I think this should be like 3 AP, maybe 4 AP at the highest. You know, but the rest of these I think is a little bit okay, just to give field generals a little bit more to stand out on, especially for those immobile quarterbacks. You know, like those Brady's, the Mannings of the world. You know, those guys that don't have a lot of mobility. You know, give them the ability to have hot route master and allow them to make the hot routes for cheap. I think that would be very, very nice. Edge protector I think should come down to 1 AP on all tackles. Just on tackles, not on guards, just because of the fact that, you know, tackles are the ones that are protecting the edges a lot more. Just because, you know, right now with edge threat being a little bit on the more meta side, you haven't really seen a whole lot of meta of edge threat compared to something like double or nothing. But edge protector is really, really good. I would definitely say that this should be a 1 AP ability. Short and elite, I think short and elite is fine where it is. You know, there are some receivers that get it for 1 AP, like, you know, Emmitt Smith, Todd Heat, LaDainian Tomlinson, a lot of backs and receiver, a lot of backs and tight ends. We don't have a receiver yet that can get it for 1 AP. But I would definitely say that short and elite is fine where it is. Acrobat, I also think, is another ability that I would argue is fine where it is. I don't think it should be any cheaper than 2 AP, personally. Acrobat, I think the game overall is a little bit more enjoyable without the ability being everywhere. But that's just probably a hot take for me, personally. But let's talk about some of these KOs. Deep route KO, I think, should go up to 4 or 5 AP on man-to-man corners, and then have it be maybe even 5 AP on man-to-man corners, and then 6 AP on zone and slot corners and safeties. Just because of the fact that it is very, very good. And even guys like, say, you know, hybrid safeties, you know, like the Justin Reeds of the world, when they get their 91 overall, or, you know, those like CJ Gardner-Johnson right now, his card, he's a hybrid safety. He's going to be able to get 2 AP deep route KO. I think those type of players, you know, it's definitely, they do need to go up a little bit. Edge threat elite, as well as edge threat, I think should go up by 1 AP on all rushing linebackers and ends. personally, I think Edge Threat Elite right now is, Edge Threat in general is just very, very good. And then obviously with the under pressure aspect of Edge Threat, is definitely an ability that does need to change as well. Speaking of Edge under pressure, this needs to go up by at least 5 or 6 AP. And under pressure right now is ridiculously insane. The fact that we need to have a fearless quarterback just to counter this ability is ridiculous. This ability promotes RNG. It lowers the skill gap overall as a player, because all you literally need to do is just have these on your defensive tackles, and you can get, especially when people step up in the pocket, you know, you can get those under pressure penalties for literally doing nothing except having your defensive lineman there, especially if you have contains on the outside. I think under pressure needs to be 5 or 6 AP on discounts, like 7 AP maybe on total. But if they're not going to do that, I think Fearless should be 1 AP on all quarterbacks, and maybe discounted to 0. Especially again with the way that under pressure is so good. I think this is too high for the basic ones. For Fearless, I think on field generals it should be like 1 or 2 AP. Improvisers can be 3 or 2 AP. You know, bring this down back to what it was last year for the cost, in my opinion, with maybe the discount to 1 AP, or keep the discount at 1 AP on things like John Elway. Tip drill should be 0. My personal opinion, tip drill should go to 0 AP. Catching the ball off a deflection in this game is unbearably hard. You know, it's almost impossible to catch a tipped interception this year, and I think that is ridiculous. And that is the biggest problem with that is probably the second biggest problem other than under pressure. Actually, no, I would say that is the biggest problem other than the ahead of the under pressure inaccurates, is the fact that you cannot catch a tipped pick, and you have to have tip drill or pick artist, which I think is ridiculous. I don't think you should have to have a player with tip drill to catch the ball. So you guys have seen in my lineup updates, I am running tip drill all over my defensive backs, you know, in case of those ag catches. When I go up against someone who tries to do that, or at least instill the idea that they're not going to be able to do that consistently. But I think this should be free, and I would argue this should also be moved to tier 1. This should be 0 AP on all DBs, or all DBs and linebackers in general. Maybe not defensive linemen, but DBs and linebackers should have 0 AP tip drill, and also coverage linebackers, and they should also have it be a tier 1 ability slot, so they're not having to waste a ability slot. Like they can have tip drill and like deep mid zone KO, flat zone KO, shit of that nature. I think that would be ideal. Personally, I've talked about identifier. I think this should be 0 AP on all linemen. I think this should be just 0 AP period. I don't understand why you have to pay to see an opponent's user. I literally could make an ability video talking about like abilities that do not need to be in the game. And quite frankly, should be just cut in favor of having them just, you know, be built into the game. And identifier is definitely one of those. As well. Threat detector, honestly, controversial hot take. I think it's fine where it is, especially with this meta. I think threat detector at the moment is fine at the space that it's at. I can understand why people want it to come down. I personally would disagree. I think threat detector is an ability that is not absolutely essential, but is a very good ability if you do want to prepare yourself on third down for, like, say someone's giving you a surprise blitz on short route or on short yardage. You can be like, okay, well, this is coming from here, so let me just, you know, throw it to where the blitz came from or some shit like that. Slot-o-matic on slot receivers, I think, should be 2 AP. 4 to 6 AP on this ability is pretty bad, you know, especially for a slot receiver. You may as well just use short and elite for 1 AP on slots, which I don't think is very, very good in my opinion. I would rather just use just short and elite. So at least give us a reason to use Slot-o-matic, because Slot-o-matic is a very good ability. It acts like a route tech in the slot and also has short in and out elite built into it. So I think on slot receiver, Slot-o-matic should be 2 AP by default, 1 AP on discount. There's that. Inside stuff on run stopping ends. On run stopping ends and defensive tackles, I think should be 1 AP in total. Personally, even on maybe 0 AP on discount for the run stopping guys, like for Jeffrey Simmons, for example. Personally, because they really don't have anything to stand out with in terms of like run stopping. Like for run stoppers, they don't have very many good abilities to stand out with. So I think giving them that would be pretty solid for them overall. Moving on next. Now, I know they did bring down Gunslinger to 2 AP on Strong Arms and 3 AP. They did bring it down to what it was in Madden 22, Madden 21, and I think that's okay. But I think personally, with Gunslinger this year getting rid of the ball velocity, I would argue it's not even worth it to have it at 3 AP. I think we'd just rather have it at the 1 AP. Have 1 AP Gunslinger, personally, just to speed up your release on your player. I think that's about it that I want to say for abilities, guys. I'm just looking at the last few abilities, just thinking, like, should there be any other ones that should change and be higher or should be lower? I don't think there is any more, guys. Actually, there is one last one. Deep Out Elite. I completely did not realize I forgot about all of this until right now. Deep Out, I would argue this should be 4 AP discounted. I think, Deep Out Elite is incredibly good value right now. You got guys like DK, Megatron, even, it does, again, with the way this game plays and the high ball ags, you literally just chuck it deep and, you go up with Deep Out Elite and you come down with it. I think, they got to change that. They have to make this, like 5 AP for discount, like 6, 7 AP for like normal. Having Deep Out Elite is very, very overpowered this year. Overall, I think it is something that needs to change. But in that sense, guys, that is going to be the end of the video. If you guys did hit the like button below and subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. Thank you guys very much for the support on the last video. I'll try to upload more gameplays to the channel directly from live streams, guys, because you guys did very well with the support on that. It was one of the most highly viewed videos I've gotten in the last few weeks, I think. Something along those lines, but I appreciate it, guys. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.